The stars above the rim were quiet that night. Captain Dren, commander of the Zalari patrol ship Vanta, stared at the dark space beyond the known galaxy. His 4 eyes blinked slowly as he watched the long-range sensors. Nothing, just like every other night. "I don't understand why we are even here," his junior officer, Lur, complained. "Earth is a small planet, weak. Why watch their edge?" Captain Dren didn't answer. His instincts were sharper than most. And tonight, something felt wrong. The silence was heavy. Space wasn't supposed to be silent. A sudden beep. Then another dot. The sensor board lit up. "What was that?" Dren asked, standing up from his command seat. Lur stared at the screen. His voice trembled. I don't know, sir. It just appeared. On screen, now." The starfield zoomed in. At first, it looked like a moon. Round, bright, slowly moving. "That's no moon," Dren whispered. "No heat signature. No radio signal, but the mass." Lur paused, gulping. "It's huge, Captain. The size of a small planet." Dren's hands tightened around the rail. "How did it get this close without us noticing?" More alarms blared. The object was accelerating, coming closer. "Still no ID?" Dren asked. "No, sir. It's not listed in any of the Council's ship databases. The hull, it's made of a material we've never seen before." "Send a report to Central Command," Dren ordered. "Full scan. Mark it priority red." Lur's fingers danced on the console. Message sent. They both stared at the screen. The object grew larger. "It's not just metal," Lur muttered. "There's movement. Weapons platforms, power surges." "Wait," Dren said. "Zoom in on that marking." The image. Focused. Letters. In a human language. Plain and bold. USS Olympus, Earth Command. Dren stepped back. "They built that?" Lur shook his head. "That's impossible. Earth doesn't have this kind of technology." "They do now," Dren said, voice flat. "And they're coming." Just then, the lights on the Vanta dimmed. The ship's eye whispered, "High-energy pulse incoming. Defensive systems activated." A glowing blue wave passed through there. Ship, non-lethal, but powerful. It wasn't an attack, it was a scan. The crew stood frozen. Every sensor was being pulled, every code analyzed. Then, silence. Moments later, the Olympus changed course. It was no longer heading toward the Zalari sector. It was moving deeper into the galaxy. "Where's it going now?" Lur asked. Dren watched the path. "It was heading straight toward the galactic core. They didn't stop for us," he said. "We were just a checkpoint." Lur looked at him. "Should we follow?" Dren didn't answer. He was staring at a new message blinking on the screen left. Behind by the ship scan, a single line. "Do not interfere." Back on Zalari Prime, the Council of Commanders met in a hurry. "They built what?" shouted Elder Varan. "A Titan-class warship," said the intelligence officer. "Bigger than anything in our fleet. No communications. No threats. Just presence." The room fell silent. "This must be a bluff," said another voice. "A projection. A decoy." "No," said Dren, who had just returned from the patrol. "It's real. I saw it with my own eyes." The elders stared at him. "What did it do?" Elder Varan asked. "Nothing," Dren said. "That's what's terrifying. It scanned us, then moved on. Like we didn't matter." "That's impossible. Earth barely reached warp tech 50 years ago." Dren leaned forward. "Something changed. Maybe they hid their strength. Maybe they feared us before. But not anymore." Another officer spoke. "It's heading toward Braken space." The room gasped. The Braken Empire was one of the most feared warlords in the galaxy. "Do they know?" "They know, and they're preparing to engage it." "They're fools," Dren said. In Braken territory, the fleet gathered fast. Over 90 ships, lined in attack formation. The Olympus entered their region, slow and steady. "Send warning. Breakin' Admiral Rurg barked. "This is our space. They have 10 seconds to explain." No answer. Fire warning shots. 3 plasma. Burst shot toward the Olympus. None hit. They stopped. Mid-space. Frozen by some unknown field. Then, disintegrated. RURG single quotes S second in command paled. "Sir, our weapons were cancelled," Rurg roared. "Fire all weapons." Dozens of missiles and beams lit up the void. They never reached their target. The Olympus didn't move. It didn't dodge. It didn't shield. It simply responded. One massive energy core powered up. A glowing beam formed at the center of the ship. No sound in space, but the light was blinding, and then it fired. Just once. 60 ships were gone in one instant. Vaporized, the rest scattered in terror. The Olympus didn't chase. It moved on. Galactic networks exploded with fear. A human warship defeated the Breakin' Empire. Who built the Olympus? Should we negotiate with Earth? The Council tried to hold order. But old enemies now began reaching out to each other. Zalari, officers and Tuluan diplomats, rivals for centuries, met in secret. "Maybe we should send peace envoys," one. "Sod, or spies," said another. But Dren only watched the stars. "They didn't attack us," he said. "They just passed. Why?" A fellow officer asked. "I don't think they care about us," Dren replied. "I think something else woke them up. Something bigger." On a lonely moon station far from any sun, a human stood before a silent console. Admiral Cade. The man who led Earth's defense rebirth program. Behind him, engineers and officers monitored the Olympus remotely. 1,000 protocols running at once. "Are we ready?" asked one officer. Cade didn't turn. The galaxy took Earth for weak. For peaceful. That was true. Once. He placed a hand on the console. But now they learn what happens when peace is broken. Back in the stars, the Olympus moved without a sound, without a word. A planet of war, shaped like hope or judgment. Every empire watched, every species waited. And every heart beat a little faster. Because now, humanity was no longer on the edge. It was at the center, and the galaxy would never be the same again. In the shining halls of the Galactic Council Tower, leaders from over 50 alien civilizations sat around a massive circular table. The chamber was grand, floating above the clouds of the central core world, Zenthari Prime, gold-like past. Through the tall crystal windows, at the center of the room floated a silver globe, the Council's datasphere. A calm voice echoed through the air. "Next matter. An unknown vessel seen near the rim. Report filed by Zalari Patrol." "Another ghost story?" chuckled Counselor Bren of the Tuluan Empire, his long neck swaying with amusement. "The Zalari always panic when a new star shines too brightly." "Agreed," growled Grorak of the Breakin' Remnants. "They've mistaken comets for warships." Before, laughter filled the room. Counselor Sira of the Talari raised one hand. "There is an image attached to the report." More chuckles followed. "Let me guess," Bren smirked. "A blurry dot in deep space?" The datasphere glowed. The lights dimmed. A large hologram appeared above the table. First, it showed the rim, a quiet part of the galaxy. Then slowly something massive appeared, round, cold, metallic. It rotated slightly, revealing a symbol. Every voice went silent. Letters strange and sharp glowed. On the side of the ship, USS Olympus. Earth Command. The laughter stopped. "What is this?" someone asked. "That can't be real." "Zoom in," ordered Counselor Sira. The ship's surface showed strange moving parts. Weapons systems, turrets, energy cores pulsing. Data followed mass readings. Shield strength, heat levels, engine types. "It's the size of a moon," said the Talari analyst. "Shielding is 10 times stronger than Breakin' warcruisers. And the core power level, it's hard to calculate." The numbers keep jumping. Bren's voice was sharp now. Who built this? The analyst looked up. Earth did. The room fell into stunned silence. Grorik slammed the table. That's impossible. Humans are weak, slow. They mine rocks and trade water. Another voice, smaller, older, spoke up from the corner. They've been quiet for too long. It was Varn, the blind seer of Athari. They lost a colony 3 decades ago. They never responded in anger, just silence. Are you saying they were planning this all along? Sira asked. I'm saying we may have awakened something we do not understand. The council debated loudly, voices rising, fear starting to replace pride. Then the doors opened. A figure stepped in. Tall, pale blue skin. Wearing a black cloak marked with the Earth symbol, he walked slowly to the center. I am Ambassador Reese. I speak for Earth. Every eye turned to him. Bren stood up. You dare come here without warning? I sent 10 requests, Reese said calmly. You ignored all of them. What is that ship? Grorik demanded. A weapon? No, Reese answered. It is a shield. We hoped we'd never need it. The room buzzed with whispers. A shield? Against what? Sira asked. Reese looked around. Against you. Against what the galaxy became while Earth watched. You're threatening us, Bren said, his voice rising. No, Reese said again. I am explaining. Earth has changed. We remained silent when colonies were stolen. We watched while your wars burned innocent planets. We gave you a chance to grow. You failed. You have no right. Grorik began. Reese raised a small device. I brought a second file. It shows what the Olympus did at Vega Point. The hologram changed. A recording from Brecken territory played. Over 90 ships formed a blockade. The Olympus hovered alone. Then it fired. The room went cold. The explosion erased 60 ships in one shot. Gasps filled the air. This is a lie, shouted Grorik. No, said a quiet voice. Bren's assistant, pale and shaking, was looking at his tablet. It's true. We confirmed it this morning. The Brecken fleet is gone. Reese spoke softly. We warned them. We gave them time. They refused. Sira looked at the ambassador with narrowed eyes. What does Earth want now? Nothing, Reese replied. We do not want to rule. We will not build an empire. But we will not stay silent anymore. And if we try to stop the Olympus? Reese stared at her. Then there will be no second shot. The silence that followed was heavy. Even the datasphere flickered softly, as if sensing the weight of the moment. The ambassador turned to leave. One last sentence echoed through the chamber. Peace is still possible, but only if you stop pretending Earth is weak. After he left, the council sat in stunned silence for several minutes. Finally, Bren spoke, his voice now hollow. We should have watched them closer. Sira looked up. What do we do now? Varn. The seer finally stood. Though blind, he pointed straight at the stars. Now, he said, we listen. The 3 fleets gathered at the edge of the Zilari system, each from a different powerful race. The Zorkai, masters of stealth and speed, sent their sharpest scouts. The Tuluan, skilled in heavy weapons and armor, prepared their war drones. And the Zilari themselves readied a diplomatic envoy, hoping to avoid bloodshed. Commander Vesh of the Zorkai watched the scanner anxiously. We must know what Olympus truly is, he said. We cannot let a monster like that roam free. Lieutenant. Mara of the Tuluan nodded. Our war drones will find its weakness. We will crush it before it fires a shot. Elder Kor of the Zilari spoke quietly. And if it's not a monster? What if it is more than we expect? No time for doubts, Vesh replied sharply. Send the stealth probes. Let's see what we face. The sleek black probes vanished into space, heading toward the immense shape of the Olympus. Hours passed in tense silence aboard the 3 fleets' command ships. Suddenly, alarms rang out on the Zorke vessel. "Probe lost!" shouted Vesh, pounding his fist on the table. It was destroyed by some kind of energy field. On the Teluan ship, the war drones moved in formation, weapons charged. "Target locked," Lieutenant Morrow whispered. "Firing now." The drones unleashed a barrage of missiles and lasers, but something strange happened. The weapons stopped mid-air, as if frozen in time, then exploded harmlessly. Mara's face drained of color. "Our weapons, they don't work." The Zilari diplomatic envoy approached, signaling peaceful intent. Elder Kor opened a channel. "Olympus, we come in peace. Let us speak." No reply. Then, suddenly, the envoy's communications went dark. The ship froze in space, systems failing one by one. Kor's voice cracked. "We're losing power. The ship, it's shutting down." Panic spread. The envoy drifted, powerless, toward the Olympus. Then a brief transmission appeared on their screens. A simple message: "Leave now, or be destroyed." Kor's hands shook as he ordered, "Retreat! Get us out of here." The three fleets scrambled to withdraw, but their crews were shaken. The unknown power of the Olympus was far beyond any weapon or defense they had seen. In the aftermath, the leaders met in secret. Commander Vesh's voice was grim. "We lost scouts, weapons, and our envoys. We know nothing except that the Olympus is a force we cannot fight." Elder Kor nodded. "We must rethink. This is no ordinary warship. It is a statement, a warning." Lieutenant Mara's eyes burned with frustration. "If we cannot fight it, what can we do?" A shadow moved in the room. A mysterious figure whispered, "Wait for the next move. The Olympus does not reveal all at once." The room fell silent, tension heavy in the air. All knew this was only the beginning. The arrival of Earth's Titan warship had changed everything. The galaxy would never be the same again. Zelran had never failed a mission. He was one of the most skilled infiltrators of the Draylin species, born with 3 hearts, no scent, and skin that could turn invisible in darkness. His people were spies, shadows, ghosts in the wind. And now he was inside the most dangerous machine the galaxy had ever seen, the USS Olympus. The outer hull of the ship was cold, black and smooth like glass. No visible doors, no weak points. But Zelran had watched the ship for days. He had found a small access panel that opened during a maintenance cycle. He slipped in like smoke. He entered a world of silence. The inside of the Olympus did not feel like a ship. It felt like a planet made of steel. Wide halls stretched for miles, lined with strange lights and symbols in the human language. Machines moved by themselves, checking systems, adjusting panels, humming quietly with purpose. No crew, no footsteps, no noise. Zelran crept along the walls, using his cloak to blend in. He passed thick doors marked with glowing signs. One read, "Core Control Level 7. Another, "Automated Armory." Then one door stopped him cold. It had no lights, no guards. Only a single line carved into the metal. "This ship is peace. If you see it, peace has failed." Zelran paused. The message felt more dangerous than a weapon. He touched the door gently. It was warm. Alive. Behind him, a noise echoed. A soft hum. He froze, holding his breath. A small spherical drone floated past him, scanning the air. It paused near him. He didn't move. It beeped once, then continued down the hallway. Zelran exhaled slowly. He had to go deeper. Room after room. He saw no humans. Only machines, control centers operated by silent AIs. Engines glowing with pure energy. Gun turrets the size of buildings. One chamber stored what looked like a storm trapped in a glass cube. The sign read, "Antimatter Reserve, Danger. Catastrophic." Zelran whispered to himself. They built a sun in a box. He entered the next chamber. It was huge, so large it had clouds near the ceiling. In the center stood a statue, not a god. A human soldier, steel armor, helmet under one arm, eyes carved sharp. Below the statue, another message. We do not seek war, but we are ready. Zelran felt a chill in his spine. This wasn't pride. This was preparation. He opened a side door and stepped into what looked like a memorial hall. Long, quiet. Walls covered in names, millions of names. Are these their dead? He whispered. He didn't understand how. No species he knew had fought wars this big. Not in the last 1,000 years. At the end of the hall, a glowing panel played. A silent video. Zelran watched. Earth. Explosions, fires, civilian cities burning. Alien ships attacking human colonies. No words. Just one moment, one child, sitting in rubble, holding a toy spaceship. Then the screen went black. Under it, this ship is not revenge. It is memory. Zelran suddenly felt heavy. He had come looking for weakness. Instead, he found purpose. The humans weren't trying to scare the galaxy. They were warning it. Suddenly, red lights flashed around him. Alert. Life form detected. Location, Hall 9B. Response, observation mode. Zelran cursed silently. He ran down a side path, ducking into a narrow vent. Crawled for minutes. No drones followed. When he emerged, he was inside what looked like the bridge. It was empty, but alive. The walls showed distant stars. Data screens pulsed softly. And in the center, a single chair faced the stars. It turned slowly. No one sat in it. Instead, a small device on the armrest blinked. A voice spoke, calm, clear, human. We see you. Zelran backed away. The voice continued. You came searching for our secrets. We let you in. Now you understand. This ship is not made to conquer. It is made to prevent conquest. You are free to leave, but remember what you saw. The lights dimmed. The front window, open space outside, and his own ship hovering far in the distance. A soft hum followed. A teleport field. They were offering him a way out. Zelran hesitated. Then he stepped into the light. Back on his shuttle, he gasped for air. His pilot rushed over. You were gone for hours. We thought you were dead. Zelran looked back at the Olympus. It still hovered there, silent, still, watching. He sat down and opened his report. He didn't mention the weapons, not the antimatter, not the core reactor, or the railguns. He wrote only one line. Do not attack this ship. You will not survive. More importantly, you will not understand. Across the galaxy, rumors spread. A spy entered the Olympus and returned alive. What did he see? Why did Earth let him leave? But no one had answers. Zelran never spoke of it again. He only watched the stars, knowing something few did. The Olympus was not a monster. It was a warning wrapped in silence. And Earth had learned how to speak with silence louder than any war. The stars around Vega Point shimmered like tiny crystals, calm and unaware of the storm about to come. This part of the galaxy had always been dangerous. Pirates, smugglers, and broken empires passed through like ghosts. But now something different was coming, something the galaxy hadn't seen before. The USS Olympus, a Titan-class human warship, larger than a moon and colder than death, was on its way through Vega space. It moved without words, without threats. Just forward, slow and steady, not turning, not stopping, and waiting for it was the Breakin' Empire. Admiral Ricard stood on the bridge of his command ship, Fury's Claw. His 4 arms were crossed behind his back. His face showed no fear, only pride. Breakin' ships were war-born. Their empire had crushed 6 star nations and burned 20 colonies. And yet, Ricard felt something strange in his chest. Tension. Status? He barked. Fleet is ready, Admiral. His second-in-command replied. 93 ships. Fighters deployed. Cannons charged. We will not let that thing pass. Ricard stared at the hologram of the Olympus. It looked like a floating city made of metal and rage. They didn't even respond to our warnings. The officer added, "They think silence is strength," Ricard said with a growl. "Let's show them noise." Far in the distance inside the Olympus, Admiral Cade stood quietly at the observation deck. He didn't pace. He didn't shout. He simply watched. A younger officer approached. "Sir, break-in ships have formed a full blockade. They're demanding a retreat." Cade nodded. "Have they fired yet?" "No, sir. But their energy levels are rising." Cade's face remained calm. "Send this message. We mean no harm. But we will not turn back, then." "Wait," the officer hesitated. "Sir, if they attack, they'll get their answer." Back at Vega Point, the break-in fleet lit up with motion, missiles loaded, lasers humming, plasma shells in position. The ships moved into a wide formation surrounding the Olympus. From all sides, Admiral Ricard raised one arm. "Final warning," he said. "Tell them they have 10 seconds. The message was sent. 10 seconds passed. No reply. "Fire!" Ricard shouted. The sky exploded. Hundreds of beams, missiles, and plasma shells flew toward the Olympus. The void lit up like a supernova. For a moment, it looked like the Titan had vanished in fire. Ricard smiled, but then the light cleared. The Olympus still floated there. "Untouched." Double quotes. "No damage detected," whispered one of the break-in officers in disbelief. It stopped everything." Suddenly, the Olympus responded. Its center core glowed blue. Slowly, a massive cannon rotated. Forward, its barrel the size of a city street. Energy built around it like a storm in chains. Ricard's smile faded. Evasive, too late, the Olympus fired once. No sound. Just light. A wave of raw power surged through space. 60 break-in ships, some of the strongest war machines ever made, simply vanished. No explosions. No wreckage. Gone. The rest of the fleet panicked. Ships turned, fled, collided into each other. Admiral Ricard stared at the battlefield in silence. Then he lowered his head. "Stand down," he said quietly. "We can't fight that." Back on the Olympus, Admiral Cade gave a single nod. "Cease fire. Do not pursue. Set course forward." "Yes, sir." A silence fell on the bridge. Not a silence of fear, but of purpose. The Olympus continued its path through Vega Point, leaving behind only silence and ash. News of the battle spread fast. Break-in fleet destroyed in seconds. Earth's warship fires only once. Titan-class ship unstoppable. In hidden rooms across the galaxy, leaders whispered nervously. Why didn't they finish the fleet? Why fire once and then leave? What does Earth want? But Earth said nothing. The Olympus never sent a victory message. Never demanded surrender. It just moved forward. One battle. One shot. One message. Earth did not come to beg. It came to be seen. And now the galaxy could not look away. The Grand Unity Chamber had not been used in 200 years. It was built during the old Galactic War, meant only for times of great danger when ancient enemies needed to meet. Now, it was open again. Inside sat leaders from 8 powerful alien empires, each one once enemies of the others. The Zorkai, the Tuluan, the Draylan, the Crash, the Valari, and more. They sat in silence, not out of respect, but out of fear. In the center of the table floated a single image. The USS Olympus. It turned slowly in space, silent, motionless. A giant moon of metal, watched by every sensor across the galaxy. No one had seen it fire again since Vega Point, but it didn't need to. One shot was enough. Counselor Halvik of the Zorkai finally broke the silence. So, it still moves forward, still silent, still untouchable, still human, spat General Varl of the Crash Dominion, and still a threat to every one of us. Elder Sira of the Tuluan narrowed her eyes. A threat or a response? We built this fear, we let Earth burn, now it rises. Varl slammed the table. You want to feel guilt now? After they destroyed 60 Breakin' warships with one weapon. That is not guilt. That is conquest. Ambassador Veer of the Drayling stood. Slowly. We must act, together, we cannot face them alone. Helvik leaned back in his seat. What do you suggest? An attack? We already lost spies, scouts, a fleet. Nothing touches Olympus. And Earth does not speak. Sira folded her hands. Then, perhaps we should. The room went quiet. What are you saying? Varl asked. We send a message, a real one, not an order. Not a threat. A question. Why are they here? What do they want? Sira said calmly. They want control, Varl said. Are you sure? She asked. He didn't answer. Across the table, tensions rose. The Draylen and Tuluan agreed with the idea of peace talks. The crash. And Velari demanded war. The Zorkai remained cold and quiet. Do not forget, Veer warned. This ship has not attacked unprovoked. It did not stop in Tuluan space. It did not fire on our borders. It moves with a pattern. What pattern? Varl barked. Toward the core, said Helvik. Toward the Council worlds. That changed the room. Everyone stared at the hologram. The Olympus was getting closer, but slowly. As if it was giving time. Or giving a chance. Meanwhile, on a hidden station near the Draylen border, a secret meeting took place. Not all leaders wanted peace. Not all agreed with waiting. General Nos of the Velari met with Admiral Turgan of the Crash in the shadows of a cold metal hall. We have 5 fleets hidden in the Zeth Nebula, Nos whispered. If we strike fast, we can disable the Olympuses. Engines, take out its AI core. You think it's that simple? Turgan asked. It's just a machine, Nos replied. Turgan stared through the window. No, it's not. It's a warning. And if we don't listen? He didn't finish. Back in the Unity Chamber, news arrived. The Alliance had fractured. 3 empires pulled back their support for talks. 2. Prepared their fleets. 1 began jamming communication signals. Ambassador Veer stood and shouted, We are turning on each other again, because of one ship. Not just a ship, said Helvik. A mirror. The council broke. The chamber emptied. The great unity fell apart. And Earth still said nothing. The Olympus continued to move. Slow. Silent. Unstoppable. Dash in the shadows of a small Tuluan moon. A single message was sent from Earth. It was short. It went to every corner of the galaxy. It said, We came to protect what you destroyed, not to rule. But if you cannot stand together, we will stand alone. Now the empires knew one thing. The ship did not fire because it was strong. It fired because it was patient. And now, patience was running out. The Grand Hall aboard the USS Olympus was unlike any council chamber in the galaxy. It was vast but quiet, lit by soft white lights that hummed like a heartbeat. Admiral Cade stood at the center, his posture calm but firm. Around him were representatives from many species, gathered here by Earth's invitation, a first in centuries. The moment was tense. Many eyes were suspicious, some filled with fear. The silence was heavy until Cade spoke. I know why you are here, he said. His voice was clear, simple. You fear us. You see the Olympus as a threat. Counselor Varl of the Crash, sitting with his 4 arms crossed, growled. You crushed our fleet with one shot. Why should we trust you? Cade met his gaze without flinching. Because we do not want war. Not anymore. We want peace. The room buzzed. Murmurs and whispers rippled through the crowd. How can you speak of peace after destruction? Demanded Ambassador Sira of the Telun. Cade nodded slowly. That shot was a warning, a message. We fired only once because we hoped it would be enough. A young Draylen stepped forward. Enough to show strength or to spread fear. Strength. Cade said, not fear. We remember our past. Our worlds burned because we failed to listen. We made weapons to stop wars before they start. But you keep moving forward, Counselor Halvik of the Zurkai said, ignoring us. Acting alone. Why? Cade's eyes softened. Because we had no other choice. The galaxy ignored Earth for too long. We stayed quiet as others suffered. A silence fell. Then Cade added, we seek allies now. Not enemies. The Olympus is a shield, not a sword. A voice from the back called out, why reveal yourself now? Why wait so long? Cade smiled faintly. Because peace requires trust. And trust requires truth. He stepped to a console and pressed a button. The room filled with images, human worlds rebuilding after centuries of war. Children playing in parks, scientists working side by side with aliens, peaceful councils. And shared missions. This is Earth today, Cad said. Not the weak planet you remember. We have changed. And we hope you have too. Counselor Varl stood, conflicted. Your words sound hopeful, but your ship remains a weapon, Cade nodded. And so must we be ready, but only to protect. To stop others from repeating mistakes. The chamber grew quiet again. After moments, Ambassador Sira spoke. What is your message to the galaxy? Cade looked around, steady. We want to build a future where no one fears the other. Where peace is more than a word. Where humanity is not the enemy, but a friend. The representatives exchanged glances. The weight of centuries pressed on them, but something new flickered in the room. Hope. Cade concluded. The Olympus is here, not to conquer, but to remind us all of what happens when we fail to listen. Let this be the beginning, not the end. As he stepped back, the room filled with cautious applause. It was not joy, but a start. Outside the great windows, stars shone quietly. The galaxy was watching. And for the first time, it was listening. The galaxy was quiet. Too quiet. After the great speech aboard the Olympus, something had changed. The alien empires no longer sent fleets to block Earth's path. Instead, emissaries arrived, asking to talk, to learn, to join. In the heart of the galaxy, the Council Worlds, a new meeting was called. This time, Earth was not the outsider but the center. Admiral Cade stood tall before the great assembly. Around him sat leaders from every major race, their faces a mix of hope and wariness. Today, Cade began, we start a new order. One built on trust, respect, and peace. A sharp voice interrupted. And if someone breaks this peace? Asked Counselor Varl, his eyes cold. Cade smiled. We have the strength to stop them. But strength is not power without purpose. Another leader, Ambassador Sira, leaned forward. What will Earth's role be in this new order? We will watch. We will guide. We will protect those who cannot protect themselves, Cade said. But we will not rule. A murmur spread. Some were skeptical, others hopeful. Outside, the Olympus floated like a silent guardian, its massive form a reminder of the price of war and the hope for peace. Suddenly, an alarm sounded. The room tensed. Cade's assistant whispered, a fleet approaches, unknown ships. The leaders turned to the screens. Shadows appeared fast, silent, and numerous. Pirates, Cade said calmly. But not just any pirates. These seek to disrupt the new order. Without hesitation, Cade turned to his officers. Prepare the Olympus. We defend this peace. The alien leaders stood united for the first time in centuries. The battle was fierce. The pirates attacked with speed and numbers. But the Olympus moved with deadly precision. One shot after another destroyed the enemy ships. As the last pirate ship exploded, silence returned. Cade looked around. This is the new order. We stand together. Counselor Varl nodded slowly. Earth has earned our trust and our watch. The galaxy was changing under Earth's watch. A new peace had begun, but everyone knew peace was fragile, and the Olympus would be there, silent and strong, guarding the future.